Today we are going to be painting a master artist piece. It was called The Cypress Trees by Van Gogh. We're going to be putting our own spin on it and learning how to easily break artist block by doing that. Copying another artist technique is a really great way to break artist block if you are having trouble creating something. So we are going to use 3 brushes to do this: a large and a small fan brush and a flat brush. For the colors, we always have black and white available. We have yellow ochre, gray, sap green, and blue. And these colors really matter to make this painting work. So make sure you're not using like bright blue or bright yellow because the painting's not going to look correct. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to take some of your gray blue and your white, and we're going to lay a really quick sky. You'll notice I'm using a reused canvas, so we have texture underneath that has already been applied. And it's going to help you really give your clouds a little more life using a textured board. So you can see how the texture starts to come out as you lay your color. So you're going to lay it about like that. When you're doing your sky, don't bring it all the way down. Just bring it to where you're going to need it on the canvas. We're going to go ahead and take some pure white. We're going to lay it in here like this, and don't be afraid to leave those brush strokes showing. You do not want to blend in all your brush strokes on a painting like this, because one of the things we're looking at today is clouds. Van Gogh had a very interesting way when he did clouds. Well, got a little orange in there from the palette. That's okay. We'll make it work. Happens. So you're going to leave that like that. And now you're going to lay the final color in your sky. We're going to add some gray. Give these clouds some shadow. Not too much, just a little bit. Don't overthink clouds. Everybody thinks clouds are really hard. Clouds, water, everybody seems to make those harder than they need to be. And really, think about the layers in your sky. You want your background to be as interesting as your foreground and your middle ground. So if you have to go back to white or you need to add a little more blue, don't be afraid to do that. But what you want to do is you want to cover up all of your canvas. Okay, so I'm pretty satisfied with it now. Not going to do too much more to this. Maybe blend that cloud a little bit. And now we're going to be done with the flat brush. We are going to lay in the first layer of our trees and our grasses, which is black. So every tree and grass scene, anything we do, has more than one color so that it has some dimension. Because if you're only using one color, all of your vegetation, all of your landscape is going to look very flat. So you want to focus on odd numbers of objects. So if you actually go online and you look at his version of cypress trees, you're going to notice that it's different. I don't want to copy his work completely. I just was using him as an example of what you can do. But you want to create your own techniques. So we're going to do 3. We're going to make sure that our trees are different sizes. And we're going to place them at different places on the landscape. You're not going to put them all in one spot. You want to span the length of your canvas. We're going to go ahead and put some upward strokes in here. And we're going to put in the shadows of what's going to be our grass. You see I didn't get all the water out of my brush. So you see these little water marks? That's why that happens. But I actually kind of like how it looks. So we're going to leave it alone. We laid all of our grasses. We got almost all our black. So now you're going to use dark green right here, sap green. We're going to give everything a second layer. All of our trees. Everything's going to get that treatment. Everything's going to get a second and then a third color. really start to see your trees build dimension at this point, and you're going to start seeing some life added to your grass so that this thing doesn't look all black and blah. So the last color we're going to be adding is our yellow ochre in the grasses, and then we're going to do green and white in the trees to finish them off. The beautiful thing about Van Gogh is he was a master at leaving his brush strokes showing, and he had a very interesting way that he guided your eye with the direction of his brush strokes. Okay, so we're going to leave that like that now. Everything's starting to come together. We're going to finish off our trees first. We're going to do green and white. Get a nice color in there. And just give it some highlights. You don't have to do the whole thing. Make your trees look kind of full, three-dimensional, right? And you're gonna go ahead, there's some paint left on here. We're gonna start putting in some texture. You're gonna see I'm leaving a lot of paint in these areas. There's a lot of texture showing through. Really think about balancing those colors as we finish off this grass. You don't want too much yellow in one spot or too much green in one spot. You want all your colors to balance out. So our last color is our yellow ochre. Kind of mix it in. You'll see where the paint is wet. You'll see your colors start mixing. That's a good thing. It's going to make your landscape look more natural. You see, if you get a heavy pocket of color in there like I did right here, you can borrow from that and move it to another spot on the canvas so that that color isn't too overwhelming. Because what will happen is if somebody's looking at your work and you have a heavy pocket of color right here, their eye is going there. That's where it's going to go. You can see how I'm using this yellow. We're going to guide our person through, our viewing audience through the painting with our colors and our lines. So you can see the lines that lead up. That should guide their eye up to here. Don't be afraid to add an extra couple layers if you need to. Green, white, dark green, whatever you need to do to make it look more natural. And just like that, you're going to be almost done with this painting. And you are now learning techniques that masters used to create your own landscapes.